Hello everyone, welcome back to A. Marie Cards, and we are here for our weekly reading for April the 6th through the 12th, 2025. We are well into April now, well into spring now. I hope you guys are having a lovely April so far, and that was fast. We already have card number 1, which is Temperance. Let's go for card number 2 for the collective. Hope you guys are doing well. I know it's been anyone who lives in the Midwest. I know it's been a rough week. 6 of Cups. It's been a rough week for the Midwest. Storm-wise, there's been a lot of tornadoes, a lot of floods, a lot of rain. Just a mess. So I hope all of you, if any of you live out in that area, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're staying safe. I hope you are protected and you didn't get any severe damage from the storms. But yeah, this week has been quite a mess for the Heartland states, I would say, and the Ohio Valley states. So all of you in like Arkansas, Tennessee, and all of those, I hope you guys are doing okay. It's been rough, so hopefully you get a little bit of a break. Let's see, final card for the collective for the week of April 6th through the 12th. I also know a lot of you yesterday, because I'm doing this on Sunday, were marching or out protesting. So for those of you who were doing that, again, hope you stayed safe. That is too many cards. Hope you stayed safe. And if you were just having a chill weekend, I hope you had a really chill and safe weekend. I always wish that more than anything is the safety. So whatever you were doing this weekend, and the past week, I hope that you're safe and that you are ready and raring for this new week. We're going to see the end of Mercury retrograde this week. It ends on the 7th. This one. 3 of Coins. Alright, so we have Temperance. We have the 6 of Cups. And we have the 3 of Coins. So Temperance can mean a couple of things to different people. It can have to do with balance, maintaining some sense of balance. That can be balance between light and dark. That can be balance between masculine and feminine. That can be balance between one mindset versus a different mindset. So it has to do mostly with balance. 6 of Cups has to do with nostalgia. And just, a lot of times this ties into childhood and growing up. So maybe I'm getting, for some reason, hometown coming up really strongly with this one. So things related to hometown or things like that. And then the 3 of Coins, 3 of Pentacles, also has to do with collaboration, especially in a business or career or money kind of viewpoint, like teaming up with others in order to move forward some kind of event. So I'm kind of tempted to do this with the cards, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. I feel like there is I'm seeing a seesaw. I feel like there's like a seesaw between what you were doing in the past and what you want to do in the future. This one representing kind of the past, nostalgia. This representing the future and where you want to move forward and who you want to work with moving forward. And then Temperance kind of representing that question of how do I balance these two sides out? Because as lovely as nostalgia is, we can't stay locked in the past. Can't stay locked in the past forever. It's really nice. It's pretty. It's great to kind of look back and remember, remember when we used to run outside and for the ice cream truck, and we'd search all of our pockets and our parents' coat pockets trying to find change and run out to the ice cream truck and things like that. And then there's kind of like the reality of, say, like being an adult. It's like, okay, we got to actually like do things. You know what? That's the bigger arch that I'm seeing in this. I'm seeing this desire of having things the way that they used to be versus having things how you want them to play out in the future. And I'm getting this feeling of like child kind of mindset mentality versus the adult mentality. And a lot of us, I'm a millennial. Actually, I'm an older millennial, and a lot of us do a lot of this. I was just looking at some posts actually on Instagram today about like nostalgia and going back to, oh, remember cassette tapes, and remember when we used to record, radio, from the radio onto cassette tape. Some of you are like, what in the world's a cassette tape? But or do you remember like grabbing our parents' vinyl records, or you remember we had boom boxes and things like that? You remember when the movies were like, after a certain time, like $5 or $6. Remember, like we used to, there's a lot of nostalgia I'm noticing happening right now. And that's not a bad thing in and of itself. It's fun to kind of think back and remember those times when, quite frankly, life was simpler. Because look at this. This looks much more like, oh, nice and pleasant, versus this one that looks a little bit more intense. I guess that'd be the best word for it, is intense. And then you have this very serene temperance card in the middle. But it's really easy to get stuck back here. It's real easy to want to just stay back here. Because I get it. It was so much easier back then. Believe me, I understand. It is so tempting to just stay back here. It's like, hey, we're just gonna stay back in this little energy because I know this energy and it's wonderful and it was lovely and we're gonna stay back in this. But the truth of the matter is, time waits for no one, and things move forward and things change, and we have to now find this balance of maintaining some semblance of that childlike wonder and curiosity and creativity and hope. Hope is a big one coming through right now, and hope that we had back when we were younger, and carry it over into this Three of Coins energy where we can build together and create something new through collaboration, through working together, through brainstorming together. Particularly something that can help us, especially financially, which is not something we were really worried about back here in Six of Cups land. We weren't really too worried about finances and bills and things like that. And now the reality is, no, we do have to worry about those things now. How can we take like that creativity and that especially that child creativity from before and carry it over to help us collaborate and build things together in the now? How do we take that whole thing of, oh, let's build a sandcastle together on the beach, as kids, and turn that over to, I don't know, let's build a business together now in the present. I remember when I was younger, I had this huge brainstorm of an idea. I loved the cartoon, the Pound Puppies, and I even had a Pound Puppy themed birthday party one of my years. I think it was my 7th or 8th year. I loved the Pound Puppies, and I loved the idea of there being a whole underground like system. Like if you ever saw the Pound Puppies, they were basically stray dogs, and they had this whole system where they would go into this trash can, which looked like just a regular trash can, but it actually had a tunnel underneath, and it would lead them to this whole like underground like layer that they had set up for all the puppies. And I wanted to build that. And of course, at like 7, 8 years old, you're like, oh yeah, I can totally like do that. I started trying to find pipes and everything. And I started digging up the backyard and all. And yeah, my dad was thrilled about that. Absolutely thrilled. But it was that really wild, childlike creativity that I had, that I was utilizing. And no, I never ended up building that great big, pound puppies layer in the backyard. Of course not. But that same creativity, that same thinking outside of the box can be utilized here in the present as well to build and to collaborate with others. The Three of Coins in particular leans very strongly on collaboration. So, think about the fun times that you would have with your friends, you know, going outside and make sure you were back before the lights turned on. You go on these adventures on your bikes all day to other parts of the neighborhood, or explore, you know, houses that were being built or abandoned places and things like that. You had, if you think about it, you had all these little mini projects that you would just do on a regular basis. They weren't for work. They weren't for a job. They weren't even for school. They were just little mini things that you guys would do, little mini adventures that you would have with your friends. This is kind of giving the adult version, at least in this reading, it's kind of giving the adult version of that same energy. That energy of taking that childlike creativity and teaming up with others with that same creativity, that same thinking outside the box and daring to go beyond where we think we can go, and building something that is sustainable and building something that will benefit us as adults. Not just a pound puppy layer underground in a state that you cannot dig underground in or you'll hit water. But instead building something that is sustainable and something that, you know, can be possibly even passed on to children and so forth. I'm not getting a very clear picture of any particular idea or project with this. It's very open-ended. So whatever popped in your head when I'm talking about a project or a goal or a dream over here with the Three of Coins, that's probably what this is referencing to. But yeah, finding a way to balance these two energies together and take this energy over here and bring it forward, bring it into the present so that you can utilize it to supercharge these ideas and goals that you have now in the future. And understanding that just like you need your little crew of friends when you were younger, you need your little crew here too. And a lot of you probably have similar ideas and dreams in common. You just don't, you might not know it yet because you haven't started that brainstorming and that working together. So try it. And it may seem daunting. It may seem like, oh, I don't know about this. It may seem menacing. But go back to that childlike exploration, that childlike bravery and love of the idea and exploring the idea, and balance and bring these two together and balance so that you can start moving forward and really creating things that can do something here, pulling from that same nostalgic creativity that we had way back when, whatever way back when is for you. So yeah, Six of Cups, Temperance, Three of Coins. That's it for the reading for this week, for April 6th through the 12th. I hope it was helpful. I hope it, I hope someone got something from it. And again, this deck is the Tarot of the Divine. This is the small pocket version of the deck. This is a smaller version. There's a bigger version, bigger size cards with a book that tells all the different stories behind the different cards, because each of them are based on a different bit of folklore from somewhere else in the world. I have the smaller version, so I don't have the version with the book, unfortunately. But each of these cards has a story behind it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that reading. Take care. Have a great week. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys next week. Yay for Mercury retrograde ending. Yay. All right, you guys. Take care. Be blessed. Bye.